Well, as a surprise, we have Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, on with us now. Vice President Harris, welcome.
Hi, Glennie.
How are you?
I'm good. And just on the campaign trail, we're hitting the road, taking over one city at a time. Okay?
Okay. Is it official now? Are you the candidate? I know you just got an endorsement from Michelle and Barack.
Yeah, well, they didn't really have a choice now, did they? But yes, I am the official candidate as far as I'm concerned.
As far as you're concerned, because the Democratic Party, this is a kind of a new thing where you don't have the vote. Chuck Schumer called it grassroots, but it doesn't seem like the typical, democracy kind of thing.
Well, we sat down at a big table, right next to Nancy's cauldron. And we all decided, we have to just make sure that Donald Trump doesn't get elected. And we're going to do everything we can to stop it from happening. Right. All right? It doesn't,
Right.
The rules don't matter. The law doesn't matter at this point. That's the bottom line here. And we're going to do everything we can. The people will thank us at the end of the day. Democracy, schmerocracy.
Okay. Right. So are you planning on debating President Trump then?
Yeah, I am. Between us, Glenn, I was a little nervous at first, right? But, it looks like he's backing out now. Yeah, hopefully he's not trying to, pull a quick one, but I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to unburden what has been.
Can you tell me exactly what that means? Because you say that a lot, and you seem to love it a lot. Why is that such an important phrase to you?
Well, Glenn, we all just watched, the television coverage of just yesterday of what we can see and what we can be. And really, it's just about opening up your horizons and trying to unburden what has been. Now, I've discovered that I've gotten all the way here by just saying nonsense. It has to mean something. It doesn't matter if I don't know what it means, but as long as, the American public can sit there and ponder it long enough, well, I'll get into that seat before they figure it out. I crack myself up. I can't help it.
I know. You're very funny. You're very, very funny. So have you made a decision on the VP pick? Because Stu and I both think it's going to be the astronaut.
I was told that that's not going to completely be up to me. So like I said, Nancy, she's working hard over here with her cauldron behind the scenes. I do what I'm told, and that's about as much as I know about that.
Right. Okay. So you can't answer. You can't answer that. I saw the story in the New York Times that was very hard hitting on you, saying that you're probably the one candidate in the history of the United States that really knows her way around a kitchen.
Yeah. Well, that can be true.
Yeah. So, but did you find that a little insulting? I mean, it's kind of like, keep them barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, isn't it?
I'll give you my best recipe, Glenn, and then you're going to understand why everyone raves about my cooking. First of all, I like to pander, to the black voters, and they love a woman in the kitchen, right? So, like, for example, when I'm doing my turkey, and I love giving out this recipe, all right, you take a little black pepper. It's the simplest recipe, but somehow, I make it sound like it's the most difficult thing in the world. You take a little black pepper, a little thyme, and definitely you can't forget the kosher salt. That's why we need the Jews. We need the Jews. And, you put a little salt, a little pepper, and you get right under that cavity, and voila, it's like I invented cooking.
That doesn't really sound like even a recipe.
I'm doing the best I can here, Glenn. Whose side are you on?
Okay. Okay. All right. One last thought. I saw that Charlie XCX, which I guess is a performing artist, you have put a banner on your page that says Kamala HQ with a neon background and lowercase letters. And that looks just like Charlie XCX's album Brat. Is that something that you are trying to image yourself as, or?
Well, here's the thing, Glenn. At some point, I called the young voters stupid because, let's face it, that's what they are, right? And, I'm just trying to rework that image to my benefit. So, I'm just trying to be happening. And, depending on what demographic I pander to, in this case, I have to pander to the young voters. Brat it is. And, it just depends on who I'm trying to trick at this point. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Yeah, sure. Sure. Let me introduce you to Estee Palti. You've seen her on YouTube. I have to tell you, Estee, I love your YouTube videos. You look like her. You sound like her. Her laugh is exactly like this. How did you come across? I mean, when did you realize, oh my gosh, I could do this voice exact?
I was actually just, playing around. I've told this already to so many outlets, but I was really playing around during the pandemic. I had downloaded TikTok. I started doing some lip syncing, just goofing around. And somebody had told me, when you listen really close, you can sound, you kind of sound like Harris. Now, at that time, I just attempted the impersonation. I don't think it was that good at that time. I think I nailed like the nasaliness of her voice later on. But when Rebel News saw it, Ezra Levant, the CEO of Rebel News, he loved it. He loved the laugh, and he really, he gave me my first shot. And when I started doing the skits for them, just with time, I think if you mimic over and over again and you really get the cadence down, it just gets easier and easier. And now I think she's making, my laugh and my tone and my cadence is actually merging with hers. So I think that's kind of like a working hazard. But yeah, it just took some time, and after a couple of years, I think I really got it down.
So you watch her a lot. What are your thoughts about, I don't know, her intelligence level? What's the deal with her?
It's very easy for me in that sense. That's why it's easy for me to mimic her and to create like this sarcastic satire, because I find her very ingenuine. In general, I think comedians or impressionists, they have this thing where they have to watch people and be observant. And just watching her, she comes off so ingenuine, so inauthentic, down to the laugh. And intelligence-wise, I'll tell you something. Just from a woman's perspective, forget about conservative, liberal, any of that. From a woman's perspective, I will be completely honest with you. It makes me angry that someone like that can be in power and is making women look bad across the board, because we're a lot better than that. And she doesn't give women in America a good name, especially with, how she got here. Well, let's be real. I'm calling a spade a spade. And I think that's what people find refreshing about my content, is that I'm pretty much like direct in your face, criticizing her through comedy, because I find her very, very ingenuine, and I don't find her intelligent at all, despite the fact that she was district attorney. And, her track record speaks for itself. Look what she did in the Bay Area. Look what she did with, the population of the black men that she had. The fact that they can do this, and she comes out on a stage and gaslights over and over again. And specifically, I want to say the word gaslights, because everything she says is completely untrue. It's the exact opposite. And they project a lot in their campaign. And at this point, I'm not sure where this road will lead me. But right now I'm just being true to myself. And I really want to just expose her as much as I can. And I think comedy is the best way to do that.
I agree with you. And you're very good at it. You don't know where it's leading you. Well, if they win, it may be jail. Just want to throw that out there.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I come from communist Russia. I know how these things work. My mom tells me all the time, you got to be careful. These people play dirty. And because I come from there, I could see what's happening here. And it's just really sad. Like, she's a democratic socialist. I don't understand how people don't see it. But hopefully she doesn't win. Money isn't everything. I really rather we get our country back.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much. And you have to give me one more Kamala laugh. Could you do something with the yellow school buses that you just love so much?
I just love them. They're so great, and the wheels turn on those yellow school buses. And, I have a Venn diagram about it. You're right on my wall. And on one side, there's Willie. On one side, there's the yellow. And it's just great. Willie's the driver, right? Yeah, I love that joke. And I don't understand the obsession that I've developed or when I developed this obsession, but, buses are great, and I'm sticking with it, right?
Kamala Harris, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Estee
much, Glenn,
Palti.
for having me on. Thank you.
You bet. God bless you. You're just the best.